Ever wish you could, like, go back in time?
Oh, yeah.
But not just to change things, but to
Right.
kind of refine your ideas.
Yeah.
Like, that's the whole premise behind Entangled Horizons. And that's what we're diving into today.
Cool.
And it's not just the story we're looking at.
Hmm.
We've got study guides and briefing docs, even a poem inspired by it.
Wow.
It's a whole universe of thought.
Sounds pretty complex.
Oh, yeah. And I'm excited to unpack it with you.
What really gets me about Entangled Horizons
Yeah.
is how it weaves, like, real science into the story.
Yeah.
We're talking quantum entanglement,
Huh?
epigenetics,
Yeah.
stuff that's usually stuck in labs and journals.
Yeah.
But here it's like driving the plot,
Right.
making us think about the possibilities.
Yeah, for sure.
In a whole new way.
So let's start with the protagonist.
Okay.
Alexander Vance.
Yeah.
He's on this 80-year trip to another star system.
Wow.
But he's not frozen.
Oh.
He's in lucid hibernation.
Lucid hibernation.
So imagine being asleep,
Okay.
but your mind's awake, and it's interacting with memories and AI.
Wow.
Makes you wonder if you had 80 years to refine your thoughts.
Yeah.
Who would you even become?
Right. Like a whole different person, probably.
Totally.
Lucid hibernation is a cool concept.
Yeah.
And the story takes it even further with this thing called the Neural Quantum Entangler,
Okay.
or NQE.
NQE, okay.
This device lets Alexander talk to his past self
What?
by, like, entangling moments of consciousness across time.
Hold on.
Yeah.
So he's like talking to his younger self pretty much through time?
Yeah. Think about what that means.
That's wild.
Like revisiting your past mistakes.
Yeah.
Not to regret them,
Right?
but to refine your thinking.
Wow.
Like a second chance
Okay.
at those big decisions.
That's a concept that goes way beyond sci-fi, don't you think?
Totally.
I mean, we've all had those moments.
Oh, yeah.
Where we wish we could go back
For
and
sure.
approach a problem differently.
Yeah, but the NQE,
Yeah.
it raises the stakes.
Uh-huh.
It's not just personal growth anymore.
Right.
It's about, like, changing the course of scientific discovery.
Exactly.
It really makes you think.
So it's not just about fixing your own mistakes.
Right.
It's about potentially, like, rewriting scientific history.
Yeah, exactly.
That's heavy.
Absolutely.
The story uses the NQE
Uh-huh.
to show how science is iterative,
Yeah.
building on successes and failures.
Like a constant evolution.
Yeah, and Alexander being able to talk to his past self really emphasizes how even, like, wrong ideas
Right.
can be stepping stones to
Yeah.
breakthroughs.
Totally.
It's like that saying you got to break a few eggs
Exactly.
to make an omelet.
Or in this case, make a scientific breakthrough.
Right.
Progress isn't always a straight line.
Yeah.
Sometimes you got to take a wrong turn
Uh-huh.
to find the right path.
Okay, let's shift gears a bit
Okay.
and talk about Alexander's work with the Higgs field
Okay.
and space-time. This is where the story blends real physics with some pretty mind-bending speculation.
Right. Initially,
Yeah.
Alexander sees space-time and the Higgs field as separate things.
Okay.
But his AI companion, Hestia,
Uh-huh.
kind of challenges that view.
Okay.
She says, and I'm quoting here,
Okay.
"Consider this. Space-time warps under the influence of mass and energy. The Higgs field determines mass."
Wow, that's a mouthful.
It is.
So what does that even mean?
Well, it's like a light bulb moment for Alexander.
Okay.
It makes him realize that if you can manipulate the Higgs field,
Uh-huh.
you might indirectly manipulate space-time itself.
Okay, so for those of us who aren't physicists,
Yeah.
what does that actually mean?
Well, we're talking about changing the very fabric of reality.
Whoa,
Yeah, it's pretty out there.
that's intense.
It's a very speculative concept,
Uh-huh.
but the story uses it to explore the limits of what humans want to achieve.
Okay, so it's like a thought experiment
Yeah, kind of.
about just how far we can push the boundary.
It's exactly the idea that we might one day control forces like that.
Yeah.
Says a lot about our drive to understand and control the universe.
It's like playing God almost.
In a way, yeah.
So how does this story even suggest we could do that?
Well,
Manipulating the Higgs field.
yeah.
That sounds like pure science fiction.
It does, but it's based on real physics.
Okay.
The story suggests that fusion energy,
Fusion energy.
the power of the strong force that holds atoms together,
Yeah.
could be the key.
So we're talking about harnessing the power of the sun.
Essentially, yeah, imagine using that kind of energy
Right.
to, like, reshape reality itself.
That's mind-blowing.
It's definitely a challenge to our current understanding of physics
For sure.
and technology.
Oh, yeah.
But it's a fascinating thought experiment.
It really makes you think.
And that's what good sci-fi does.
Right. It takes these big ideas and makes you consider the implications.
Right.
And this is where it gets really interesting.
Oh, yeah.
The story isn't just about cool gadgets. and futuristic tech.
It's deeper than that.
It's asking us to consider the implications of such power.
Exactly. It makes you think about the responsibility
Yeah.
that comes with such knowledge.
And that leads us to another fascinating element,
What's that?
epigenetics.
Epigenetics.
Yeah, you see, Alexander isn't just influenced by his own past, but potentially by echoes of his ancestors.
His ancestors.
Yes, specifically Einstein and Tesla.
Wow.
The story suggests that we might inherit not just physical traits,
Oh, wow.
but neural templates.
Neural template.
Thought patterns.
So you're saying our creativity, our problem-solving abilities
Could be shaped
by these echoes.
by these inherited echoes, yeah.
That's a big idea.
It is like, are we saying there's a bit of Einstein in all of us?
That's the question the story asks.
Wow.
And it's a deep one.
Yeah.
It challenges how we see ourselves as individuals.
It's like nature versus nurture,
Uh-huh.
but on a whole other level. And we're just scratching the surface here.
I know, right?
There's so much more to explore
I'm ready.
in Entangled Horizons.
Let's do it.
So let's take a moment to process all this.
Okay.
And then we'll dive into the deeper implications of these concepts.
Sounds good.
Because it gets really wild from here.
I can't wait. This whole idea of inheriting thought patterns from our ancestors,
Yeah.
it's fascinating, but also kind of creepy.
Right.
Like, where does free will even come in
Yeah.
if we're already predisposed to certain ways of thinking?
Like, are we really in control?
It definitely challenges our sense of individuality
Yeah.
if our thoughts are shaped by echoes of the past.
Right. How much agency do we really have?
The story acknowledges that this concept,
Uh-huh.
it might make some people uncomfortable.
Yeah, for sure.
We like to think we're the sole authors
Right.
of our thoughts and actions.
Of our own destiny.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But Entangled Horizons,
Yeah.
it wants us to consider
Mm-hmm.
that we're part of a larger continuum
Okay.
of consciousness.
So it's not saying that we're puppets
No, not at all.
of our ancestors just carrying out their plans.
It's more nuanced than that.
Okay.
The story emphasizes that inherited traits
Mm-hmm.
might play a role,
Yeah.
but our environment
Right.
and choices
They still have a huge impact.
is this intricate dance
Okay.
between nature and nurture.
Yeah.
Our experiences shape the symphony of our lives.
I like that metaphor.
Yeah, it's like building upon the melody
Okay.
is passed down through generations.
One of the study guide questions that really got me thinking
Oh, yeah.
was about Alexander exploring his imagined ancestors' lives through those quantum entanglement recordings.
Right.
What do you make of that?
That's a key part of his journey.
Yeah.
By experiencing those imagined lives.
Yeah.
Alexander understands his own work better.
So it's giving him context,
Exactly.
helping him see his ideas as part of a bigger story.
Exactly. And it goes beyond just feeling connected. It's about realizing that even groundbreaking ideas
that I build on what came before.
we're standing on the shoulders of giants.
Right. Entangled Horizons is saying
Yeah.
that scientific discovery is a group effort,
Okay.
a symphony played across generations.
So each individual contribution, no matter how small,
Right.
adds to the whole.
Exactly.
This brings us back to that symphony metaphor.
It does.
Right.
Full circle.
Yeah. And this leads to Alexander's vision for the future.
Oh, yeah.
He imagines a world where people embrace
Uh-huh.
epigenetic inheritance.
Not as a limitation,
Yeah.
but as a source of potential.
So instead of fearing it,
Yeah.
we lean into it.
Imagine if we could tap into this inherited knowledge
To,
more consciously.
like, consciously activate our inner Einstein.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Think of the possibilities.
For creativity,
Yeah.
problem solving.
Alexander believes that by nurturing
Yeah.
these inherited inclinations, we could unlock a new level of human potential.
It's like we'd be accessing this vast library.
Of inspiration.
Yeah.
Drawing on the wisdom of all the minds that came before.
That's a great way to put it.
And it reinforces one of the story's core themes.
What's that?
That scientific discovery isn't just about individual brilliance.
Right.
It's about this collective effort.
Across generations.
Okay, so we've explored the physics, the philosophy of epigenetics.
Right.
But Entangled Horizons goes beyond just ideas.
Right.
We also have this poem,
Oh, yeah.
Symphony of Threads,
Right.
inspired by the story.
It really captures the essence of the story.
Yeah, in a very emotional way.
The language is so powerful.
What lines stand out to you?
Well, the opening line,
Yeah.
We are not just alone in the stream, not a fragment, not just a dream.
Wow.
It sets the tone right away.
Yeah.
We're part of something bigger
Than ourselves.
Exactly.
What about this line from the chorus? Connected by threads, we rise, we climb, a symphony that spans all time.
It's like a call to action. We're all connected.
By these invisible threads
Of thought.
in inheritance.
And we have a responsibility.
Yeah.
To contribute to the symphony of progress.
Each of us has a melody to add.
I love that.
Entangled horizons.
Yeah.
Both the story and the poem,
Right.
they ask the big questions
They do.
about consciousness,
Yeah.
the limits of science.
What it means to be an individual.
Exactly, and it doesn't give us easy answers,
Right. It leaves you thinking.
which is the mark of great art.
Totally.
It makes you think about your place in the universe,
And it challenges you to see the world differently.
to consider possibilities you never thought of before.
Absolutely.
Speaking of possibilities,
Yeah.
let's talk about that final message
Okay.
Alexander sends to his younger self.
The one that sums up the whole story.
Yeah.
Dream wildly.
It's so simple.
But so powerful.
It's about embracing our imagination, exploring unconventional ideas.
Even if they seem crazy.
It's about the power of what if.
Those sparks of inspiration.
That can lead to breakthroughs.
Exactly Alexander's message.
Yeah.
It reminds us that even wrong ideas can be valuable.
It's about the journey,
Yeah.
not just the destination.
And this message goes beyond science.
Right.
It applies to any creative endeavor.
To life itself.
Yeah, to understanding ourselves.
In the world.
Dream wildly is a reminder
Yeah.
to never stop exploring.
So what's the big takeaway?
From entangled horizons.
What do we want our listeners to remember?
For me, it's that we're all part of this tapestry
Okay.
of interconnected consciousness
Shaped by our experiences.
and the echoes of those who came before.
It's a powerful concept.
It is.
It gives me hope
Breathe them.
that even when things are tough,
Yeah,
we're not alone.
we're part of something bigger.
A symphony of minds across time.
That's a beautiful way to put it.
And that's the beauty of it.
We're all connected
Playing our part
in this grand composition.
of thought and discovery.
And as Alexander says,
Dream wild.
because those dreams can reshape reality.
Now let's move on to our final thoughts
Okay.
on this deep dive into entangled horizons. Wow, we've really journeyed through a lot, haven't we?
Yeah.
The science, the
It was
philosophy.
poetry.
It's not every day you find a story that
Yeah.
sparks so much discussion.
Entangled Horizons really takes you on a ride.
It does.
It's thought-provoking, but also emotional.
Yeah, we've covered so much ground.
From lucid hibernation,
Uh-huh. Imagine sleeping for decades.
while your mind's still active.
To the idea of actually manipulating space-time.
That's a big one.
And we dug into the ethics of epigenetics, too.
Right, like, could we actually use inherited knowledge?
Yeah, and what would that even mean for us?
Like a whole new frontier.
The story really makes you confront these big questions
It does.
about the future.
And where science might take us.
But even with all the scientific wonders
Yeah.
and philosophical dilemmas,
Entangled Horizons reminds us of something crucial.
what's...
The power of human curiosity.
Uh-huh. And imagination.
It's a story about our desire to understand.
Not just the universe.
But ourselves, too.
Alexander's journey.
Yeah.
His willingness to challenge the norm.
And embrace the unknown.
It's inspiring.
It really embodies the spirit of discovery.
And that spirit isn't just for scientists.
Right.
It's for all of us.
Whether we're solving problems at work
Pursuing a passion.
or just trying to understand the world.
Entangled Horizons tells us to never stop asking, what if?
To keep exploring.
The narrative makes a really interesting point,
What's that?
that even wrong ideas can be valuable.
Yeah, they can push us in new directions.
Lead to unexpected discoveries.
It's about being open to possibility
and challenging what we think we know.
and never underestimating the power of a crazy dream.
As we wrap up our deep dive today,
Yeah.
I keep coming back to that metaphor.
The Symphony of Threads.
It's such a beautiful image.
It
It's
is.
this tapestry of minds.
Connecting us across generations.
It reminds us that we're all in this together.
We're part of something much bigger.
And we have the potential to create something amazing.
And that's what I find so hopeful.
Well, me too, even when we face huge challenges.
We're not alone.
We're part of this grand symphony.
Of thought and creativity.
So as we leave our listeners today,
Yeah.
I think the biggest takeaway is this.
Okay.
Embrace your curiosity.
Never stop questioning.
And never be afraid to dream wildly.
Because in that Symphony of Threads
Even the most out there idea,
could lead to something incredible.
This has been The Deep Dive.
Thanks for joining us.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning.
And keep dreaming wildly.